Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a fundamental vulnerability in the global phone network. And this isn't some new bug, it's a flaw that was built into the system's very foundations, and it affects pretty much everyone with a cell phone.
So that was the reaction from tech expert Linus Sebastian right after we remotely hijacked his phone number. We didn't touch his device, we didn't send him anything, and, well, you can tell from his reaction. He was right to be concerned.
So, how in the world did we pull that off? I mean, there was no phishing link, no sketchy email, no suspicious text message. Nope. We just took control of his number using a flaw that's been baked into the system for decades. Okay, let's get into how this actually works. So we teamed up with some cybersecurity specialists, and we were able to completely take over Linus's communications. We're talking intercepting his calls, stealing his two-factor authentication codes, and redirecting his messages. And the craziest part? The whole time, his phone was right there in his hand, looking like it was working perfectly fine.
To really understand how today's vulnerability is even possible, we got to go back in time. Long before Apple computers, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak's first real venture was, well, it was illegal. They built this simple little device called a blue box, and its only purpose was to hack the phone network. Okay, so check this out. That last step in the evolution, the touchtone phone, while it was super convenient, it accidentally created this massive security hole. Why? Because it sent the control signals, the tones, on the exact same line as your voice. And this is exactly what Wozniak and Jobs figured out. They realized they could just mimic these control tones and trick the entire network into giving them free long-distance calls. They actually got so good at it, they even tried to call the Pope at the Vatican, pretending to be Henry Kissinger. No joke. So here's the crucial point. Anyone who could replicate the network's tones could control the network. And get this, sometimes it was as simple as using a toy whistle that came in a box of Captain Crunch cereal, just because it happened to produce the exact right frequency. Obviously, the phone companies had to do something. Their big solution was to create a brand new, totally separate, private network just for those control signals. No more tones on the voice line. This new system was called Signaling System Number 7, or SS7 for short. And this right here shows the idea behind SS7 perfectly. The goal was to build a walled garden. Think of it like a secure, members-only club where only trusted phone companies could talk to each other. This was supposed to lock out all the hackers for good. And you know what? For a while, it actually worked. But here's the twist. Just look at the difference between then and now. That exclusive club from the 80s, it has absolutely exploded. Today, there are over 4,500 networks inside that garden, and you can lease access for just a few $1,000 a month. The walls are still there, but now there are thousands of doors, and frankly, not everyone with the key is trustworthy. So how do attackers take advantage of this, let's call it an overgrown garden today? Well, it turns out there's a simple playbook, and it turns that trusted network into an incredibly powerful spying tool. It really just boils down to a three-step process. First, an attacker gets inside the SS7 network. Second, they send what looks like a totally legitimate request to get your phone's unique SIM card ID. It's called an IMSI. And third, once they have that IMSI, they can launch their attack, basically telling the entire global network, hey, I'm this person now. And this is exactly what we did to Linus. His friend dialed his number, but because we had already told the SS7 network that Linus was roaming near us, our phone rang instead of his. We just picked up and had the full conversation, while Linus's phone stayed completely silent.
The same exact principle works for text messages. We showed this by trying to get into a new YouTube account we'd set up for Linus. When the system sent a two-factor authentication code to his number, it came directly to us. We just typed it in and got full access. He never even knew a message was sent. An attacker can also just ask the SS7 network a really simple question. Hey, which cell tower is this phone connected to right now? In a city, that can pinpoint someone's location to within a single city block. And this is not theoretical. This exact method was used in the real-world hunt for Princess Latifah of Dubai after she tried to escape. And this isn't some rare once-in-a-blue-moon thing. While call interception is less common, experts estimate there are over 2.5 million malicious tracking attempts just like this every single year. Now, it's typically highly targeted, aimed at journalists, activists, or other people of interest to government agencies. So, I know this all sounds pretty alarming, but the good news is you are not powerless here.
There are some really concrete, actionable steps you can take to protect your most sensitive digital accounts and conversations from this specific threat. Here are the 3 most important things you can do. First, stop using SMS for two-factor authentication whenever you can. Switch to an authenticator app, or even better, a physical hardware key. Second, for any sensitive conversations, use encrypted calling and messaging apps like Signal or WhatsApp. They use the internet, which means they completely bypass this vulnerable phone network. And third, just understand that as long as your phone has a SIM card in it, this kind of network-level location tracking is, for now, pretty much unavoidable.
You know, at the end of the day, we spend so much time and energy securing our devices with passcodes, Face ID, software updates. But this flaw is such a powerful reminder that sometimes the biggest vulnerabilities aren't in the device in your hand, but in the vast, invisible infrastructure that connects us all.